passing out, loss of consciousness, seizures, and heat stroke. These are all risks of being exposed to extreme heat. Sometimes people will be out and about in the heat or will be sitting outside and they may start to feel some symptoms, and it's not atypical to brush those off and say that perhaps it's related to not drinking enough water or inactivity. So these symptoms can creep up on you and affect you, and next thing you know that you're kind of on the other end of the heat illness spectrum. So it is very important to be mindful of these symptoms and not ignore them, and be attentive to them, or to be attentive of your children who might be experiencing these symptoms. A closed vehicle, the temperature can rise in just a matter of minutes, and that can cause things such as nausea, vomiting, altered mental status, loss of consciousness, and death. So this can happen very quickly, and it's very important to not leave children and animals inside cars. So parents should make sure to try to arrange their activities outside either earlier in the day or later in the evening, at times of the day when it is not so hot or sunny. Make sure to dress their children in appropriate clothing that is breathable, lightweight, allows for their sweat to evaporate. I would also recommend that parents start hydrating their children a few hours before they go outside, and then to periodically encourage their kids to hydrate while they're outside as well. So some signs of dehydration: if you feel parched, feel excessive thirst, feel like you're not sweating as much as you should be while you're outside, you're not urinating as much, or when you urinate, the color of your urine is very dark. These are all signs that you are becoming dehydrated and that you are especially vulnerable to heat illness. Same thing applies to children: not sweating, not making tears when they're crying. These are all important signs. If your baby or your young child is not as active as usual, not behaving like they normally would, these are all signs that should alert you to the possibility of heat illness and should trigger either getting into an air-conditioned or cooler environment and hydrating more. Especially if you are extremely active outside, taking certain kinds of medications. Even over-the-counter medications can sometimes mask your response to the heat outside. So it's very important to be mindful of this. There's a spectrum of heat illness. Something as mild as heat cramps can afflict a person, but then also heat exhaustion, heat stroke, which can cause altered mental status, dizziness, seizures even. So this is something to take very seriously.